So I'm now going to go ahead and turn it over to Bart to get us started.
Thank you, Bianca. Can you hear me okay? Are you able to hear? Okay, thank you. Thank you again for everyone to joining. My name is Bartolome or Bart Skarupa from Mobile Pathways. And together with CLESPA, we'll talk about how we're democratizing immigrant justice. So originally, I am an immigrant here from Poland. So the rights of marginalized immigrants has always been near and dear to my heart. And I'm just thankful that I get to pay this gift forward that my parents bestowed on to me. And what we do at Mobile Pathways is we work with immigration nonprofits, the immigrant advocates that need to both collect and send information to their clients. We fundamentally believe that the collection and distribution of critical information to marginalized immigrants should be a right and not a privilege. And the way we reach our audience of and please, just really quickly, for those of you that aren't speaking, if you could please mute. Thank you for your attention. We work together with immigration nonprofits and connect them and empower them so they can better reach their audiences with technology. And the way we think about things is looking at where immigrant advocates are spending the most amount of their time. Next slide. When we think about innovation, we think about all the day-to-day tasks, and that the immigrant attorneys that work at Mobile Pathways, and Jeff, our co-founder, who's been working with the immigrant community for over a decade, really thought through where we're losing time and where we can automate and get real-time information to really move the needle on immigration justice. And rather than talk about it, I'd really like Miriam just to be able to show what we've done with CLESPA and what this means in the bigger picture.
Hi, everyone. Hopefully you can hear me okay. My name is Miriam Kelly. I am a managing attorney with the immigration program at Community Legal Services in East Palo Alto. I've been with CLESPA for a really long time, since 2013. And within the last couple of years, I transitioned from having my own direct caseload of immigration legal cases to doing the mentorship for our pro bono program. So just to give you all a little bit of background as far as what kind of pro bono do we do? Why do we do it? At the moment, we have like 8 to 9 immigration staff attorneys on our team. So not a huge team, but we are happy to have who we have. So to give you an idea of the demand for our services, we limit our consultations to people who live in San Mateo and Santa Clara counties. They need to be low income and they need to be asking for an immigration consultation for an area that we do. So even with all of those limitations, we did 581 individualized legal consultations for immigration in 2021. So you divide 581 divided by 8 immigration attorneys, it's not enough. So we really rely on our volunteer network of 400 plus pro bono attorneys who have expressed interest in working on immigration cases, whether that's individualized representation or working in our clinics. We do a few clinics as well. But at the moment, we have a huge need for full scope pro bono cases. And luckily, we have a lot of those that are pending right now. So we're doing mentorship of about 140 or more full scope pro bono cases. So those are asylum cases, U visa, special immigrant juvenile status, and more. So our model is we don't co-counsel. Instead, we are providing mentorship, and part of that is being a matchmaker. So we're identifying folks that are in need of immigration legal services. We have the choice between taking them on in-house or, if we weren't able to find them a pro bono attorney, unfortunately, that would mean turning them away. So in order to expand our footprint and being able to represent more people, we rely on those pro bono volunteers. So a lot of that turns into identifying who wants to take what kind of case, providing them access to that client, making sure that the client is okay with having a pro bono attorney represent them. Next slide, please. So a lot of this entails being a schedule master. So the typical, let's say it's an asylum case. This is usually a large law firm and they're corporate attorneys, transactional attorneys, and they have expressed an interest in representing a client on an asylum case, but they're relying on us for substantive mentorship. They want us to be able to provide them with updated information about the hearings, materials, and just kind of tips and tricks to making successful filings in immigration court and representing our clients to the best of our abilities. So a lot of that entails you have an individual hearing in January of 2023, I need to know to reach out about 6 months ahead of time to make sure like who is staffed on that matter. Are they in touch with the client? Are things moving along? Do they have a good timeline of what to work on? So go ahead to the next slide. This is how the problem is that these cases change all the time. A lot of the folks that are, well acquainted with the immigration court system, will have somebody who had a, merit scheduled for June 1st, and then on May 13th, you find out that the case has been bumped to 2024, or the judges changed, or the time of day has changed. So it was really becoming burdensome for us to kind of keep track of all of those different changes that were happening. So next slide. Yeah. 1 in 4 cases are rescheduled. I feel that acutely. I'm sure others on the call feel that as well. There's a lot of time and effort and work on the behalf of our clients too, for them to be preparing for these hearings, and they get rescheduled because of COVID, because of judge changes, judges retiring, judges entering the bench. So it's up to 1 in 4 right now. The cases are being rescheduled. Next slide. Okay, so I'm going to show you all the tracking spreadsheet that we used to use. That was the bane of my existence. Essentially, we had a Google spreadsheet with every single pro bono case that is under our mentorship with a pro bono volunteer at a law firm. And I have a pro bono coordinator that works alongside me. And the poor thing, like part of her job was literally like every month at the beginning of the month, calling the 1-800 number for every single client and just making sure we knew when their hearing was. Is it still on schedule for when it is? Has it been bumped to 2024? And I just really, it was just so much manual labor of just calling for every single one of those clients over and over again. So when we started this partnership with Mobile Pathways, one of the main things was, how can we make it so we don't have to call the 1-800 number? And then once the ACIS, the automated case information system came up, how do we make it so we don't have to plug in a number, rinse and repeat, and update the spreadsheet every single month? So we went from that to this, which is so much nicer. So if you go ahead to the next slide, I'll show you a little bit about how this works. So we now have this beautiful list of all of our pro bono clients and their hearing date, the judge, the time, and it's auto updated through the ACIS system. They do an auto scrape so that every time I log on to this database, I'm getting the most up-to-date information about when that case is scheduled for the merits or for master, what the date is, what the time is, who the judge is. This has just saved us an insane amount of time and energy, and we're so appreciative of having the system now. And the really fun thing that it does is that when there's a change in the hearing date or time, we actually get an email notification. So I get that email notification in my inbox, and it's like, it's went from Judge Marks to another judge. And I'll get that ping in my system, and I will then forward that email on to the pro bono attorney that's staffed on the case. And it's a great signal for them to know that there's been a change in this case, that we should set up a time to talk about strategy since it's a different judge now, or, the case was supposed to go on June 1st. Now it's up to 2024. Let's talk about motions to advance. This is really helpful because in addition to the cases changing a lot, the staffing of the pro bono cases changes a lot too. So we can't necessarily rely on somebody who has entered an appearance on one of these cases to be following with all the updates, because it's possible they leave their firm and the pro bono coordinator is in touch, in charge of it now with that firm. And they really rely on us just to kind of have like a major oversight of everything that's going on. And that way we can make sure that these clients are receiving the same level of excellent service that they would have received if they were in-house with CLESPA. So this has been really exciting and a great development for us. I think that's it from my end. Go ahead, Tabar. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Miriam. And also just thank you to Posey, who is on the Mobile Pathways team that worked with Miriam and Joanna to be able to help digitally transform them. And it's not just CLESPA. Mobile Pathways now has about 144 immigration nonprofit partners. And we're looking at the entire span of all the cases. So at this point, we're tracking close to 17,000 cases. And when you saw Miriam reference that 1 in 4 cases are rescheduled, we know that as a real-time fact. This is all real-time information us and the Legal Defense Coalition, which includes CLESPA, CCIJ, look at and see that it's not even 1 in 4, it's 27%. The hard part is for us is that the more of the immigration nonprofits we get as partners, the worse the data gets. it's getting longer for the average wait time. What you're seeing there is 922 days, 3 years, somebody is waiting with their life in jeopardy. And we're just starting to scratch the surface because this information from ACES is new. There's a lot more that we can actually get than, for those of you that use ACES, we actually get a lot more information than is actually shown, which means we can find very specific pain points where the immigration justice system is failing, such as rulings by location by judge. So we know where to advise people on their immigration journey, where to go. For those that would like to learn more, please do reach out to us. We are so thankful for Miriam and CLESPA and everything that they've done and our other constellation of partners. Thank you.